Happy Victory Monday, Bengals fans, and welcome into Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien with allbengals.com and right here, Cincinnati Bengals Talk. And hopefully you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. It's obviously a good day for the Bengals, who are 7-4. They're in second place in the AFC North. And yeah, the Ravens won on Sunday night, but that just means there's more of a gap between them and the Browns, and obviously more of a gap between them and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And look, we talked about Sunday's game during our post-game stand-up, which you should check out. And 41-10, you snap all of these streaks, right? Or create new ones, rather. You win 3 straight for the first time since 1990 against the Steelers. You sweep the Steelers for the first time since 2009. But a play I didn't get to talk as much about because of the outcome, because the story was Joe Mixon and the offensive line and Joe Burrow's efficiency, is the BS that TJ Watt pulled. And by the way, I do hope Watt is okay. He just got placed on the COVID-19 reserve list, which is something to watch since the Bengals just played the Steelers on Sunday. But the BS he pulled after Burrow's interception late in the second quarter, where he blocks Joe Burrow into the ground and clearly is targeting Burrow. Clearly is going after Burrow, and it's not like Burrow was close to making the tackle or was running to make the tackle or anything like that. It was like, ooh, this is an opportunity. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to slam him to the ground. One, it's completely BS. It was unnecessary. It was ridiculous. And I'm not the only one that feels that way. I think that there are a lot of people within the Bengals organization that might not say it, but we'll say it. And I know Burrow after the game was like, yeah, he was just blocking me. No, that not the case. And look, he didn't want to make headlines and make it a thing. And I understand that. At the same time, it was a play that shouldn't happen. And I would say the same thing if Trey Hendrickson tried to pull that with Ben Roethlisberger. I would, because you cannot do something like that and expect it not to ruffle feathers. And that's exactly what it did. Quentin Spain ran over there, and so did Jonah Williams and the rest of the offensive line. And boom, suddenly it was this crazy situation, that could have escalated. And obviously it didn't. And cooler heads prevailed. And Joe Burrow slyly walked away with a smirk on his face. But I had to ask Jonah Williams about this entire situation. And I kind of took over the Zoom call on Monday afternoon with Jonah Williams. He was on with all of the local media here in Cincinnati. And I asked him 3 questions. It's about 2 minutes long. And Jonah pretty much said, and in fact did say, that it wasn't okay, that he didn't like it, and that it was unacceptable. Here's my conversation, my exchange with Bengals starting left tackle Jonah Williams about this whole TJ Watt situation. Jonah, did it feel like you guys as a collective group frustrated TJ Watt a bit, because obviously it got a lot of attention when he blocked Joe to the ground, but he didn't have the game he's used to having?
Yeah, he's a great player, and when you play a guy like that and you play a defense like that, it's important that you try to take him out of the game as much as possible. And so, credit to all the guys who were blocking him, and our play caller and the way we're able to run to not allow him to make plays. I think there was a lot of frustration in that game in general, and it probably boiled over around that point of the game. And it's unfortunate. We don't want to see anything happen to our quarterback, and we stood up for him after that. But when you're frustrating the team, that's usually a sign that you're doing a good job and doing what it takes to win. And at the end of the day, we got a big win over a divisional rival, and we're on to the next week.
I think Spain was the first one there after that when Burrow went down, but obviously everybody came over. What goes through your mind as an offensive lineman when something like that happens?
Well, I was trying to make the play, and so I didn't see what happened, but I turned and I saw Q getting in his face, and that's just kind of, O-line code is when you see one of your teammates get in someone's face, you get up in there too. So I got up in there, and, everyone was kind of, jumping to his defense, which is just, that's your role as an O-lineman. It's your role as a teammate. It's what you do. And I didn't really find out what happened until, halftime or later in the game. So yeah, that was a good, it was unfortunate it happened, but it was a good sign to me that we were frustrating them, and that ultimately we were, going to overrun them in the second half.
Do you think that was a clean play?
I don't think that he would have blocked anyone else on the field in the same manner. I don't know the rules to that extent. I don't like seeing anyone hit my quarterback like that. So yeah, I don't necessarily know the rules, but I definitely didn't like it.
Good for Jonah. Good for Jonah. He said he didn't like it and he shouldn't like it. And he's 100%, 150%, 200% right about the fact that there's no way in hell TJ Watt does that to anybody else. But since it was the quarterback, since it was Joe Burrow, he felt that he could get away with that or do that. It's ridiculous. And you have to make that clear. And I'm glad Jonah said something because he's, a mild-mannered guy. He's not going to try to, create waves or anything like that. But I think he was being honest. And that's the part of it that I'm happy to see because it is BS. That can't be allowed. That can't be accepted by the Bengals, regardless of whether it's a flag or whether it's illegal. It doesn't matter. It's unnecessary. It's ridiculous, and you need to handle it. And that's what Quentin Spain and company, Jonah Williams and company, they tried to do. But the other part of this that's quite interesting, one, Zach Taylor, I asked him, he was like, no, I didn't think it was a dirty play. I framed it the same way I framed it with Jonah. Did he think it was clean? And Zach basically said, yeah, he didn't say it was clean, but he didn't say it was dirty. Didn't say that there was bad intentions to it. I don't think TJ Watt was trying to hurt Joe Burrow. I think he was trying to get in an extra shot that was completely unnecessary. And again, ridiculous. It's my opinion. That's what I would say. Again, if one of these other quarterbacks that the Bengals play, like if they do that to Justin Herbert this Sunday, that's ridiculous. Why do you need to do that? Like if it's Trey Hendrickson or Sam Hubbard or BJ Hill or DJ Reader or, the list goes on and on and on. That's ridiculous. It can't happen. Shouldn't happen. That being said, why did it happen? TJ Watt was frustrated. TJ Watt was frustrated because the Bengals had scored on 4 straight possessions. He wasn't getting to Joe Burrow. They were moving up and down the field, up and down the field, up and down the field. They were running away from him. They were running draws. They frustrated him. They took him out of the game. That matters. And it's just all part of the ultimate message, which the power has officially shifted for the Cincinnati Bengals in this rivalry with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They beat them last year with Ryan Finley on Monday Night Football. Then they go to Pittsburgh and beat them 24-10 in a game that really wasn't that close, never felt in doubt. Then they just absolutely wall up, crush them 41-10. And TJ Watt and company have no chance really all game long. There was never a time where it was in doubt. There was never a time where it was in question. The Bengals just go up and down the field. And so the power has shifted. And for years, the Bengals lost their composure in those situations against the Steelers when they were losing the physical, the physical matchups or starting to lose the game. They would lose their composure. That's what TJ Watt did on Sunday. Everyone could say, oh, it wasn't a dirty hit or, oh, it wasn't this. No, it was a BS hit. He had lost his composure, and that's what happens when you get the best of a rival like that. That's expecting to win, but they just don't have the same horses, or you're just more talented. The Bengals are the better team. And you heard it from Mike Hilton on Sunday, and we put together a bunch of clips, a best of, so to speak. And Hilton's like, look, yeah, the power has shifted. We in this rivalry between these two teams. Now, that being said, just because the Bengals are the best in the Steelers-Bengals rivalry right now doesn't mean they're going to win the division. Doesn't even mean they're going to make the playoffs. So they have a lot to do. They have to get ready for Justin Herbert and the Chargers. We'll cover them a lot this week in this matchup with Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen and just a really explosive Chargers offense. But this Bengals team got TJ Watt, got the Steelers a little flustered. And that's why we saw what we saw, which was a ridiculous hit. It should be unacceptable. I'm glad Jonah said what he said. And that is the standard for the offensive line. And that's something Zach did say, is he was happy to see the team stick up for Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow just slyly walking away with a little smirk on his face. Because look, he knew. He had to have known. It was like pickup basketball. They knew they had him. They knew they were losing composure. They knew that the Steelers were theirs and that the game was theirs and that things have changed. It used to be like this. Oh, no, it's like this now. These are the Bengals, and they're above the Steelers in the standings. They're above the Steelers in their 2 head-to-head matchups this year, and they're going to try to keep pace in the AFC playoff race as the 5th seed right now. That's what the Bengals are versus the 7th seed, the Chargers, this Sunday at Paul Brown Stadium. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. I know Lindsey Patterson's working on a really, really big guest for this week. We are going to have videos all throughout the week with your coverage. We're going to go do a live chat because it's been a while since we've done a live. So stay tuned for that. Ring the bell so you get the alerts. And man, oh man, how about that? The Bengals frustrated TJ Watt, frustrated the Steelers, and they got their 7th win of the season. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and check out all of our latest videos if you haven't yet. We did a stand-up post-game. We did the best of, like I said, post-game news conferences. And obviously we had that 2 minutes of awesomeness from Jonah Williams where I thought he was really, really honest with his answers. So you're going to get more where that came from right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Tell your friends, and until next time, for Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien. Thank you so much for watching right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk.